Hello everyone, let's look at verse number 29 of chapter 22. It is talking about the Kaaba, it's talking about the Hajj. It says, then let them fulfill their vows, and then the Arabic word it uses is وَلْيَتَوَّفُوا بِالْبَيْتِ. It means and perform tawaf of the ancient house. بالبيت العتيق. But what I want you to pay attention to here is the Arabic word used for this. يَتَوَّفُ بِالْبَيْتِ الْعَتِيقِ. And we're going to come back to this. This is very important that you know the verb that the Quran uses for performing tawaf of the Kaaba. And what is Kaaba? Is بالبيت العتيق, is the ancient house. Bayt al-Atiq, it means the ancient house. But the question is, what is Tawaf, right? Some of you ask, what is Tawaf? We have instances in the Quran that even children are performing Tawaf around their parents. So what is Tawaf? If you look at the dictionary, it's very easy. It means to go about, to walk about, to travel about, move about, wander about. It's touring something. So think about when you're touring a house. What do you do when you're trying to purchase a house or purchase an apartment and you tour it? What do? You go inside, you look around, you walk around the outside. You just want to see it well. You just want to familiarize yourself with that property, that house, that apartment. You're basically performing tawaf. When you're touring a house, you're doing a tawaf in that house, of that property, of that apartment, because you're trying to buy it. It's the same thing. That's what tawaf is. I just want to clarify this. Tawaf doesn't mean that you go around the building and turn around for 7 times, 6 times. That is not in the Quran. It's not even in the Torah either. Now let's look at verse number 158 of chapter 2. It says, indeed the Safa, as-Safa, and the Marwah are among the symbols of Allah. So whoever comes to the house, which house? فَمَنْ حَجَّ الْبَيْتِ. It's talking about the Kaaba, right? So we just talked about it. So whoever comes to the house for Hajj or performs the Umrah, there is no sin for him if he performs Tawaf of them both. Of what? Of the Safa and the Marwa. So basically when you are coming to do Tawaf of the house, of the Kaaba, it's okay for you to do Tawaf of the Safa and the Marwa as well. And يَتَوَّفَ بِهِمَا. Now this is where I want you to take away from this verse. Allah uses the exact same word that we just used for performing Tawaf of the Kaaba to refer to the Tawaf of the Safa and the Marwa. فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِ أَنْ يَتَوَّفَ بِهِمَا. It means perform Tawaf. It's the exact same verb that was used for the Kaaba. Allah used it also for the Safa and for the Marwa. So whatever the Safa and the Marwa are, they have to be very similar to the Kaaba. Whatever you do for the Kaaba, which is a house, you go inside of it, you look around of it, you should be able to do the exact same thing for the Safa and the Marwa. It means you should be able to go inside of it, you should be able to tour outside of it. It's the exact same process for all 3 of them. However, the Tawaf of the Safa and the Marwa is impossible in the current mosque in Saudi Arabia. Why? Because the Safa and the Marwa that exist in Mecca in Saudi Arabia are just 2 pieces of rock. They are not houses similar to Kaaba. So you cannot perform tawaf of them. You cannot tour them. You cannot go inside of it. You cannot look around it at all. That's why they have invented this process of sa'i. They say sa'i, basically running or walking between them both. But where is sa'i? Where in the Quran does it talk about performing sa'i between the Safa and the Marwa? Had it been the case, the Quran would have said, فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بينهما, not بهما. Remember here, it's what is it saying? It says يطوف بهما, means tour of it, tawaf of it. However, if this meant between the two objects, the word in Arabic for between is bain. So if that was the case, what would we have in Arabic? We would be saying فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بينهما. بينهما. But that's not what it says. That's not what it says. It says أن يطوف بهما. And it uses the exact same structure that I showed you. Let me go back to the first verse that I showed you. يطوفوا بالبيت العتيق. Perform tawaf of the ancient house, referring to Kaaba. Here it uses the exact same structure, referring to the Safa and the Marwa. It does not mention anything about running or walking between the Safa and the Marwa. And had it been the case, it would have used the word bainahuma. So from that, we can easily conclude that the whole idea of sa'i between the Safa rock and the Marwa rock is a bid'ah, is an addition, is a tahrif. This is how they did tahrif to the Quran. This is one of the ways. They have done it in several ways. But one of the ways they did tahrif in the Quran is that they created this parallel narrative that they call Hadith. And through the use of that Hadith, they changed the Quran in a very subtle way. Actually, it's not even subtle. Now, let's look at verse number 189 of chapter 2. It says they ask you about the starting points. What are the starting points? Ahilla. Ahilla means starting points. And I have several videos on this. I will put the link. I'll go over the meaning of ahilla and I explain it for you from the dictionary, from the everything. So it's just have no doubt about the meaning of ahilla. Then it says, say, what are the ahilla? They are mawaqit. They are gathering places at appointed times for the people and for Hajj, for pilgrimage. These are the starting points where people from across the world gather together and camp. And then it says, and it is not righteousness, it is not good deed to approach the houses. I want you to pay attention. Which houses? The houses from the back. But righteousness, doing a good deed, is in one who fears Allah, and approach the houses from their doors. So which houses is it talking about? It's talking about the Hajj. And if you read this verse, several verses before that, you see that it's talking about the Kaaba. It's the first house. It's talking about the Safa, which is the second house. And it's talking about the Marwa, which is the third house. Whenever you have three of something, three and more, you have to use this structure, buyut. So the verse is referring to the three houses in current day Petra, Jordan, in Becca. All three are still standing. The foundation for two of them is there. I will show you pictures. They're located in current day Petra, Jordan. Petra's name in the Bible, in the Torah, is Kadesh. Kadesh means Quds. The original name at the time of Moses, they used to call it Quds. At the time of Prophet Abraham, they used to call it Ein Mishpat. It means the spring of judgment, because of what happened to the people of Ad and people of Thamud, and what will happen again in the end times. So, three houses. The Kaaba is house number one. Kaaba is the sacred house and the sacred symbol. The second house is the Safa, and the third house is the Marwa. So when you go to Hajj, when you perform Hajj, you have to be able to perform tawaf of each of these houses. You have to be able to tour them. You have to be able to go inside, walk around, and visit. So what does this verse mean? So rather than just cutting in the line amongst the crowd, trying to get in there earlier and do your tour in front of everyone, it says don't do that. Don't try to jump in from the back and go over there. Actually wait in line approach these houses from the entrance where everybody else is entering, everybody else is approaching. So it's basically saying that you have to wait for your turn, you have to do it in an organized manner and fashion. Try not to outsmart everyone, coming up with creative ways to go approach from the side, from the back, to be able to go in and do your tour earlier than others. Now let me share with you this picture of this current Safa and Marwa in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. As you can see, this is the two rocks. One of them, this closer one, this is Safa. This is Safa and this is Marwa. These are two rocks. Now let's look at the Safa and the Marwa in the original, in the actual Mecca in Petra, Jordan. You can see this is the Kaaba that you have here. This is Kaaba. You see it's a house. This is the foundation of it. The house has been destroyed. There's walls. There's a house here. These are the staircases that go to the house actually from here. So, and then you have the Safa. This is Safa. This is the entrance to the Safa. There's staircases that you go up, and you can see in the foundation, you can see in the picture, this is the gate. This is the entrance to the Safa, and there used to be a little cube over there. Back in the days, everything in the old times when they wanted to commemorate and respect something, they would build a cube. You can see cubes across the Middle East as the places of worship. It's not that they are worshiping the cube. It was just a way to designate a place as holy and protected from being approached. Because when you build a cube, no one can really touch it. And then this is the Marwa. Again, the same way, this is the entrance of the Marwa. It's a house. Again, the ceiling, the roof has been destroyed, but you can see the pillars are still there. You enter from here, and then you do a tour. There's a little cube here in the middle, and you do a tour and you come out and go out from here as well. So again, both the Safa and the Marwa are standing. These are the houses that the Quran is talking about. Kaaba number 1, Safa number 2, and Marwa number 3. Look at the way the fake Kaaba in Mecca, Saudi Arabia is standing relative to the stone, the rocks, the two rocks. Look at this. The Kaaba is here. You have this stone, you have that stone. When the Umayyads were designing this, when they were copying this, they were actually looking for something very similar to Petra, Jordan. And I'm going to show this to you. So look at this. Keep this in mind, how they have designed this. This is where the Safa is, this is where the Marwa is. Now let's look one more time at the true original Mecca in Petra, Jordan. Do you see this? This is the exact same configuration. This is the Kaaba, then you have the Safa, and you have the Marwa. When the Umayyads went to Mecca to establish the religion of the Umayyads, what is known today as Sunni Islam, that's what they looked at. They were trying to find something similar, and they found two pieces of rock over there at the exact same configuration, and they announced that as Kaaba and then Safa and the Marwa. But the Quran obviously makes it very clear to us that both the Safa and the Marwa are two baits, are two houses, just like the Kaaba, and you have to perform Tawaf of it. It means you have to tour it, you have to be able to go inside, you have to see outside, and you cannot do any of those with these two rocks, because this is not Safa and this is not Marwa either. Peace and blessings to all of you.